everyone, it's Jessie. In today's video I am going to talk to you and tell you about books that I want to read this fall. So in the fall time I tend to want to read more darker-ish stories or stories with more magic or October-ish, Halloween-ish elements. I think I have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So without further ado, I have 10 books to show you, so let's get into this video. The first book on my TBR for fall that I really want to read is A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluez. This book has been on my TBR for so long, and I figured what a better time to read it than the fall time. This book takes place in the Victorian era in the 1800s, I believe in England, and is about witchcraft and sorcery, which sounds exactly up my alley. So I am super excited for this book, and I've been wanting to read it for a really long time, and I want to read more witch books. And the inside title page of this book is just so aesthetically pleasing, and so is the cover. I cannot wait to take bookstagram photos of this. The next book I want to read this fall is by one of my all-time favorite authors, Suzanne Young. This is actually one of her only series by her that I have not read. The book is called A Need So Beautiful. I'm actually not sure what it's about either, so let me just read a little bit of the inside. We all want to be remembered. Charlotte's destiny is to be forgotten. Charlotte's best friend thinks Charlotte might be a psychic. Her boyfriend thinks she's cheating on him, but Charlotte knows what's really wrong. She's one of the forgotten, a kind of angel on earth who feels the need, a powerful, uncontrollable draw to help someone, usually a stranger. But Charlotte never wanted this responsibility. What she wants is to help her best friend, whose life is spiraling out of control. She wants to lie in her boyfriend's arms forever, but as the need grows stronger, it begins to take a dangerous toll on Charlotte. And who she was, is, and will become her mark on this earth, her very existence is in jeopardy of disappearing completely. This book sounds super interesting for fall. I haven't read many angel type-ish books, so that's why I really want to pick this book up to go a little bit out of my comfort zone and read something a little different in the mix of all this fantasy. So that is why I chose this series. This book still has the sticker on it. I didn't take it off. Another piece of literature that I like to read about is kind of time travel, so that's why I put this book on my list. This book is called Timeless by Alexandra Manner. I'm not sure how to say that. This cover just screams mysteriousness in like early 1800s. When tragedy strikes Michelle Windsor's family, she is forced to move from Los Angeles to New York City to live with the wealthy, aristocratic grandparents she never met. In their historic Fifth Avenue mansion filled with a century's worth of family secrets, Michelle discovers the biggest family secret of all, an ancestor's diary that amazingly has the power to send her back in time to 1910, the year it was written. There, at a glamorous high society masquerade ball, Michelle meets the young man with striking blue eyes who has haunted her dreams all her life, and she finds herself falling for him into an otherworldly romance. When I picked it up and found it at Second and Charles, which I got on a trip actually when I was in Colorado, just like intrigued me so much and sounds so cool and so up my alley. And I love books that deal with like forbidden romances like in different time periods when like one person's from here, one person's from there. I just think that's so cool. And Outlander. I'm super excited for this book, especially for the fall time. I don't know, I just love to read these kinds of books during this time. Let's get on to the next book. The next book I want to read this fall is just like overall the cover is so fall themed and aesthetically pleasing. This book is called Revenge and the Wild by Michelle Modesto. A dying magic, a miraculous invention, a long-awaited payback. Revenge has never been this deserved. This book is described as Lovecraft meets Firefly, which honestly sounds amazing. The 2-bit town of Rogue City is a lawless place full of dark magic and saloon brawls, monsters, and six-shooters, but it's just perfect for 17-year-old Westy, the notorious adopted daughter of a local inventor, Nigel Butler. Westy was an only child when she lost her arm and her family to cannibals on the wagon trail. Now she may seem fearsome with her foul-mouthed, tough exterior and powerful mechanical arm built for her by Nigel, but the memory of her past still haunts her. Now this book greatly reminds me of the plot of Vengeance Road by Erin Bauman, which is one of my favorite books, but this just sounds like that vamped up on magic steroids because this has to do with all those elements in it, which I'm so excited for, and I really can't wait to read this book. Next up, I basically picked this book because it's been on my TBR for a really long time, and I also love the book Anna Dressed in Blood, which Kendra Blake also wrote. This book is called Three Dark Crowns. It's about 3 sisters who have to compete for a throne, and I think essentially have to kill each other or something like that. So I'm super excited for this, and just like overall the aesthetics of this book cover are so beautiful. And the second book of this series, I believe, is coming out, or it just came out. So that's why I want to pick up this book now so I can jump right into the second book so I don't have to wait, because we all know I'm impatient. it. Next up we have this book right here called An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Isabel is a brilliant portrait artist and painter who has to deal with a dangerous client, aka the fair folk. Now everybody right now is kind of complaining because they say that the plot of this book kind of sounds like A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, but despite that, I just am obsessed with the cover. It's so beautiful, so gorgeous, love the color scheme, and I also just want to give this book a chance because it does sound amazing and really good and up my alley, and I've actually heard a lot of great reviews about this book. Everybody's really enjoying it right now, so I'm super excited to read this fall. Will paint and canvas be enough to defy the ancient power of the fairy courts and save both of their lives? I don't know. I'll find out. Next up we have this book right here called Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley. I actually picked this book up on my trip to Savannah, Georgia, which I love Savannah, Georgia so much. I picked it up last year and I'm so excited for this book. When I picked it up, I just wanted to read it right off the bat right there, and I still can't believe I haven't picked up this book yet because I want to read it so bad. Charlotte, Branwell, Emily, and Anne. The Brontes have always been close. After all, nothing can unite the four siblings like a life in an isolated parsonage on the moors. Their vivid imaginations lend them escape from their strict Spartan upbringing, actually transporting them into their created worlds, the glittering Verdopolis and the romantic melancholy Gondal. But at what price? As Branwell begins to slip into madness and the sisters feel their real lives ebbing away, they must weigh the cost of their powerful imaginations even as their characters, the brooding Roche and dashing Duke of Zamorna, refuse to let them go. This book is a fantasy novel which mixes all of the Bronte sisters' writing twisted around, and that's why this book really intrigued me. I really want to read it and see how it goes, and I love spins on classic literature. I think that's really cool, so I'm super excited to pick up this book soon. Next up we have this book right here called The Yearbook by Carol Masciola. What if the time of your life was the past? In the pages of an old yearbook she finds in the library in her beat-up inner-city school, lonely misfit Lola glimpses into the past when fashionable young scholars walked in the very same halls. She falls asleep and wakes up to find herself in the middle of the very past. I don't want to read the rest of that synopsis because I want to kind of go into this book not knowing too much. Again, this has to do with that time travel aspect where she is at her school and she finds this yearbook, she reads it, she falls asleep, and she wakes up in that time, which I think is so cool and so interesting. Next up we have this book right here called Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I've seen this book going around a lot recently and I really want to read it because it looks perfect to read in like the October creepy month, and look at all those creepy tools in the back. He murdered women in cold blood. He terrorized an entire city. He taunted those of us who hunted him down. But despite all those horrors, in the end, I could not deny I was the girl who loved the Ripper. Like, is that not intriguing or what? A love story with Stalking Jack the Ripper? Like, yes please. I've heard so many great things about this book and I'm highly anticipating it. Last but not least on this list, we have this book right here called Ghost Talkers by Mary Robinette Noel. From what I remember, this book is about an American heiress living in London during World War II. She is engaged to an officer and is also a medium, meaning she can kind of communicate and talk to spirits. Each soldier heading for the front is conditioned to report to the mediums of the spirit corps when they die, so the corps can pass instant information about the troops' movement to military intelligence. I want to see how her as a medium uses her gift and ability. So this book sounded just up my alley. I love everything about World War II and just involving ghosts in it makes it all the better because I love ghost stories. I also just love the cover of this book. It's so chilling. That was the last and final book, so that means that wraps it up for this video. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. I am Jesy and I will see you next time. Also, let me know what books you guys are looking forward to reading this fall because I could also use more recommendations.